their seats, turn off your phones and other items that might make noises. Welcome to the Greater Clark County School Board meeting. And the first item tonight, before we actually open the board meeting, is a public hearing on the corporation budget. And Dr. Dykle will do that. And when it's over, I'll open the floor for anybody who would like to make comments on that budget. Dr. Dykle?
Okay, thank you. I gotta say, this is the largest crowd I've ever had for a budget hearing. It looks great. Normally there's 3 or 4 people. Just go to the next slide. Just wanted to show you some of the things. We're in the second year of our biennial budget from the state. In 18-19, we're going to see a 1.7% increase in our state tuition. You have 54 schools in 2018-19 are receiving less dollars than what they did in 17-18. We have a foundation grant that increases 1.5% this year. We have a complexity index, which is reduced statewide. We only have one ADM count, where before we had one in September and then the one in February. The CTE is a new formula for the 18-19 school year. We have a teacher appreciation grant of $30 times the ADM, average daily membership. And then a highly effective stipend must be at least 25% more than the effective. Okay. Biennial budget changes, honors diploma. We have, if you graduate with us as a student of SNAP or TANF or foster care, we get $1,500 plus an extra $100 for every graduate that falls in those categories. Core 40, it's $1,100 plus another $100. Our formal collective bargaining starts September 15th, and we have to be done by November 15th. Okay. House Bill 1009, which was effective January 1st, 2019, it eliminates the general fund. Calls it something different now. It's called the education fund. Categories 1 and 2, all the account numbers that we have in our corporation are by account numbers, and certain ones are category 1 and 2, which goes into the education fund, and then categories 3 and 4, they go to the operation fund. So in the operation fund, it would be like the school board, the central office here, all of these people are normally paid out of the general fund, are now going to the operation fund. And I have to move state tuition support money over to the operation fund every month to pay for everything. This is the most confusing budget I've ever had to work with. So every month I'll be coming to the school board for approval to transfer money. Now, in the operation fund, they consolidated. We normally had capital projects, transportation, and bus replacement. They're combining all of those into the operation fund. But yet, we still have to do a capital projects plan and a bus replacement plan. So, okay. When you look at the, still looking at House Bill 1009, the only increase in special ed was in the severe category, so we're going from $8,976 to $9,156. We still have school lunch and textbook rental as separate funds, and there's a waiver for protected taxes, circuit breaker, which is extended to 2019. Tuition support, from 18 to 19, we're going to see a $76 increase per student. So that's the big thing there. Now, when you look at the education fund, here's our revenue. So in 2018, state support, we had $67,890,270. In 19, I bumped it up to $70,172,000. In school finance, we always have to project high to protect the school corporation. So you can see we had $70 million in 2018, but we only have $64 million in 2019. That's because I'm transferring $8.5 million out of the general fund or education fund over to the operation fund. Okay. Next. When you look at the expenditures look, fairly consistent as you go through kindergarten, elementary, middle, high, voc ed, alternative ed, gifted, talented, ESL. They're all basically very similar. Okay, the next one. And then when you get to the next slide, you can see I took $8.5 million off of 18 to compare it to 19. So you can see if we would have done this year, we would have been at 63 million, and next year we're going to be at 64, so about a $1.1 million increase. In the debt service fund, we only have certain things that we get in revenue: property tax, excise. CVET is commercial vehicle excise tax. FIT is financial institutions tax, and then other. And you can see it's the main one is in property taxes from 9.6 million to 12.9. But the reason that's so high is because I offset debt service when we have to spread out our tax costs over debt service and pension debt. So that number will be coming down. Okay. When you look at the estimated expenditures, we have bond payments that we have to do. We have TAWs, which is tax anticipation warrants. This is the money that I borrow to run the school corporation until we get our taxes in June and December. Holding corp is all of our leases that we have. So every 6 months we have to pay those. Excuse me. Common school fund loans are for the technology, for the Chromebook leases that we have. Bond registrar fees, we have to pay those yearly, and then textbook rental. This is the uncollected textbook that comes in after October 31st. I can put into debt service. The pension fund was a bond that was sold a number of years ago, and again, it's basically the same thing: property, excise, CVET, local income tax, and FIT. It's down a little bit in 19. The estimated expenditures, there's 2 payments that we do a year, and it totals $1,270,000. So, in the operation fund now, we have property taxes. So you can see it's going from 12.8 to 13.1. Excise tax, about the same, because I've combined all 3 of those funds. The CVET's relatively the same. But the big one is the transfer from the education fund, where you can see the 8.5 million going into 2019. So when you look at the operation fund from 18 to 19, it looks like there's a big jump, but it's mainly the 8.5 million. Okay. Now, when I transfer from the education fund to operation fund, it's these account numbers that we transfer. So it's account 23,000, which is general administration, which is the school board, legal, superintendent. He has nothing to do with students, so that's why we're allowed to transfer the superintendent. Account 25,000, which is the business department, payroll, HR, recruitment. Account 26,000, which is custodial, maintenance, security, grounds, all the utility costs. Account 27,000 is transportation, vehicle servicing, and contracted bus service. So that's how I came up with the 8.5 million. When you look at the operating fund expenditures, now here's where I had to combine a whole bunch of different descriptions together. This normally would look like the capital projects fund, but it's now combined. The biggie there is basically looking at the third one down, building acquisition and construction. This is the money that we use to repair our buildings, that our maintenance guys need for supplies, equipment, things of that nature. You see a big number there. Utilities, $2,035,000 versus $1,970,000. Maintenance of equipment, they're all basically the normal things that we do. Vehicle operation at the very bottom, that's transportation. So to operate our vehicles, bus drivers, the monitors, things like that, is 2.8 million is what I'm projecting for next year. Maintenance of fleet is the mechanics, all the equipment that they need, the fuel, vehicle insurance, that's what we have to pay on all of our vehicles. We have over 120 buses and a whole bunch of other vehicles that we have. Contracted transportation is our contracted drivers for like the New Wash, Charlestown area. Purchasing school buses, I show $1,030,000. They're expensive. Each school bus is about $125,000 a piece. Again, contracted services. Now this is part of the bus replacement fund. It's now part of the operation fund. The $750,000 is to pay the other portion of the contracted driver salaries. And then we have general administration, $885,000, central services. So you can see we're at $20 million to $23 million. That's about that. When you look at capital projects, this is normally how I would present it in prior years, and we still have to present it the same way. So we have a 3-year plan. So I have professional services, which would be for architect fees and engineers, things of that nature. So it's $100,000 per year. Basically, all the board is going to approve next board meeting is the 2019 year. The other two are estimates, and they're subject to change. Building acquisition and construction is $2 million. Rent of buildings that we have to do periodically is $25,000. We purchase mobile or fixed equipment, $100,000. Emergency, we always have to have money for emergencies because things break down that we don't anticipate. Utilities, $2,035,000. So it just goes on from there. So we're looking at a capital projects in the operation fund of $7 million, almost $100,000. Bus replacement, when I first started in school finance 29 years ago, we had a 10-year bus replacement plan that we had to project. Then a couple years ago, we went to a 12-year bus replacement plan. All you're looking at is the first year. The rest of the numbers, we don't know 12 years from now how much a bus is going to cost. Now they've gone to a 5-year bus replacement plan. So you can see we have 101 buses that we own, and replacing 6 of them would be $750,000. Okay. Rainy day, that's one of our other funds, and this is only if we need it, so I have to budget. If I don't use it, that's fine. So I'm saying up to $1 million in revenue could be transferred into it from the operations fund if I have a cash balance at the end of the year, and up to $1 million of expenditures could be taken out of the rainy day fund, but this is all with board approval. Assessed valuation, this is the wealth of our school district. Going back to 2009, we were at $2.5 billion, and you can see we took a couple of drops to 2.491, then it went up to 2.496, and it dropped. We've been going on a roller coaster here. 2013, it dropped to 2.3, 2014, it was 2.3, and then finally it started growing. And it has a direct effect on the tax rate. The higher our assessed valuation goes, the lower the tax rate generates. So you can see, we were at $1.06 in 2014 when it was $2.3 billion, and now $300 million more. We dropped, 21 cents. So that was a good drop in our tax rate. This is just the school tax rate, not everybody, because in your tax rate, there's a whole bunch of other things that make up your tax rate. Tax cap loss, back in 2010, we all voted and put into the Constitution that we do not want our taxes to be more than 1% of our assessed valuation of our house. So in 2010, Clark County lost $375,000. 2 and 3% are the commercial and rental and personal property. So they lost another $2.5 million. We lost $811,000. This is where I spread out the tax cap loss to debt service and pension debt. So you can see as we go down, I just want to show this to the board every year that we do this. So from 2010 to 2018, so those 9 years, Clark County as a whole lost $98 million in property taxes. Greater Clark lost $19.5 million. So we'll come before you on October 16th to do the budget adoption. So that's my presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Dykle. Do we have any public comment? If you'd like to make a comment, please come to the microphone and state your name and where you live. Okay, looks like we don't have any comment. So we'll close the hearing, and we will start our board meeting with a call to order. Please show that Mark Pavey and
Nancy Kraft.
Mark Pavey and Nancy Kraft not here. Sorry. I was trying to figure out how to get back to my agenda here. Sorry. good. Our next thing on the agenda is to stand and let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now we have some really good news. We have our board salutes. This is always the highlight of the evening for us. So, Ms. Pfeiffer?
Yes, our first of 3 board salutes is for the Red Cross Humanitarian Award. The board salutes Victoria Southern from Jeffersonville High School for receiving the 2018 Red Cross Youth Humanitarian Award. She is a member of the Jeffersonville High School Air Force JROTC program. The Youth Humanitarian of the Year Award recognizes local youth whose efforts and accomplishments have made our community a better place to live and work. Based on the fundamental principles of the World Red Cross movement, humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, volunteer service, unity, and universality, the award finds focused in the first of these principles, humanity. Congratulations, Victoria Southern.
Victoria, a little closer together for a photo. This is really special. We have a lot of special students in our school system, and we have many of those in our building today. Victoria, this marks the 2nd year in a row that the Red Cross Humanitarian Award winner was not only a Jeffersonville High School student, but a member of the junior ROTC. And so it's a tribute to Victoria as just an outstanding young person, to her family. Her mother is here tonight. Appreciate that. To the ROTC program with Colonel Benny here this evening. This is a tremendous honor and award to be recognized as Humanitarian of the Year. So Victoria, we're very, very proud of you, and continue to be the tremendous person you already are and the great ambassador you are for our school corporation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we also are going to stay with our Air Force JROTC program for the Silver Valor Award. Tonight, the board also would like to recognize the heroic efforts of a Jeffersonville High School student, Air Force JROTC Cadet Derek Johnson. Cadet Johnson's quick action recently helped save the life of a fellow cadet who was choking. Cadet Johnson saw that Cadet Durbin was in distress. He assessed the situation, then performed the Heimlich maneuver twice, which helped clear Cadet Durbin's airway enough to breathe until first responders could transport him to the hospital. Cadet Johnson's quick thinking in addressing the life-threatening situation was critical in keeping Cadet Durbin from choking to death. Colonel Benning, senior aerospace science instructor at Jeffersonville High School, nominated Cadet Johnson for the Silver Valor Award, the 2nd highest award a JROTC cadet can earn. He was formally presented with the award last week. The board now salutes Cadet Derek Johnson.
Got some photos to be taken here. Again, since I've been here as superintendent, our ROTC cadets have saved at least 3 lives that I can think of. Performing CPR on adults in our community to save lives. In this instance, Derek reacting very quickly to help save one of his fellow cadets. You know, this isn't easy for anyone to do. Some people, when confronted with a situation like this, would not step forward and proactively engage. People like Derek are special. He was able to step forward and take the chance to do what was necessary to try to save a life. Now, I can't think of anything that would make someone as more proud, to be honest. Mom and Dad, is it Mom and Dad? Dad, stand please also, thank you. Is there that little brother? Hi, little brother. Yeah. Well, and the Pride Award, which we've given to Victoria as well as to Derek, that Pride Award is small in stature, but it means a great deal to our school corporation. It's a program that was implemented several years ago to instill great characteristics in our students across our school corporation. And it's not given to just anyone. We give it to people who do very special, deserving things like you, Derek. And so you exhibited pride on that occasion, but I also know you exhibit pride every day. And thank you for being such a great credit to your family and to our school and school system, to your parents, and congratulations on your Silver Valor Award. That's outstanding.
We have one more final salute tonight for two of our elementary schools. The board salutes Riverside Elementary and Utica Elementary student councils as recently being named Gold Honor Councils by the Indiana Association of Student Councils. The Honor Council program recognizes outstanding student councils that meet all the prescribed requirements, such as community service and coordinating student activities. This award distinguishes outstanding student councils by guiding student leaders and their advisors through a process using standard-based criteria and demonstration-based outcomes. Both student councils are recognized for their hard work, leadership in their respective school, and commitment to their school and extending community. I would like to call first Riverside Elementary Student Council sponsor. We'd like to recognize Ms. Carrie Holder. And the student council members, please come forward as I call your name. David Hyatt, Luke Church, Benjamin Land, Danielle Hill, Evan Toba, Belle Bethany, Cadence Lanham, Jamal Owens, Layla Zabani, Lillian Hatfield, Max Holder, and Allison Arnold. Congratulations to all of you.
I mean, right? That's you, right? Okay, we're all set? All right. That's always a challenge, just to get the certificates right. So, Ms. Holder, you've been doing this for quite some time, and so first of all, let me salute you because it takes time and effort and commitment on your part, and I know that you do that willingly because you care about these kids so much, and so I just want to say how proud of you that we are. But we're also very proud of these young ones and also the ones that couldn't be here tonight. And I hope you guys that you saw these two older students that were here and were recognized because you are leaders. You are leaders now. You're great role models for your fellow students in the role that you play. But also you have these older students that have also gone well above and beyond that with their leadership and their commitment and their sacrifice. So for both Victoria and for Darren, I hope you see them as great examples for you. We're proud of you. Thank you, moms and dads, for entrusting your children to Riverside and to Ms. Holder and to our school system.
We have moms and dads in this
Yeah, why
room.
don't you
Stand, please.
and be recognized. Thank you.
And Mrs. Kimmel sends her apologies. She is at the Jeffersonville High School sectional soccer tournament tonight, and they are in overtime. So we hope that they pull through, but she wanted me to express her apologies. And our next group is Utica Student Council, and we'd like to recognize the sponsors, Amber Anderson, Courtney Allen, and Ashley Emily. And boys and girls, please come forward when I call your name. Cooper Turk-Gagel, Rihanna Morris, Mallory Spears, Jackson Spencer, Violet Fondrisi, Anvir Mann, Sophie Burnett, Katie Garrettson, Madison Pritchard, Sam Stifler, Jocelyn Wilson, Samantha Dews, Nico Fondrisi, Gabby Harris, Lacey Miles, Kylie Masters, Macy Condra, Grace Lintrup, Camden White, Eli Graves, Emma Shootman, Anna Hill, Cruz Martinez, Briley Klatt, Mason Gentry, Braylon Terry, Natalie Mabry, Hunter Tinsley, Gabby Vaughn, Maria Reese-Nino, Hudson Mattingly, and Jacob Lintrup.
Congratulations. It's a tough job. You will do it. Okay, love it when we're honoring all these students. So as I said before, first of all, thank you, Ms. Emily, for all of your leadership and your fellow advisors as well. This is a very big group of students, and students, thank you, because you're making a big commitment to help others. And that's a very important trait to have. That you want to do something that not only betters you in terms of your ability to lead, but you're number one, you're trying to do something to help others. And that's such a great quality and trait to have. So we're very proud of you. We're very proud of the fact that you're an honor council. Thank you for being such great young people and great role models for everyone at Utica Elementary and for Greater Clark. And moms and dads, if you don't mind standing so we can celebrate you as well. And thank you again for entrusting your students to our school system. We're very proud of them, and thank you for students for everything you do.
Board members, would you like to make any comments before we tell them that they can leave? Any comments? Okay, I know you want to stick around for this board meeting, but if you must go, that's all right. We'll dismiss you. Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All those, any comments, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Our next item is the approval of the minutes from previous meetings. Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
If I could, Madam President, separate the two because I was not here for one of them and I need to abstain.
Was that a,
So I'll make a motion, please, to approve the regular board meeting minutes for the meeting on September 4th, 2018.
do I have a second for that one?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And one abstention.
One abstention. Okay, and then our other board meeting minutes, September 18th.
Move to approve the regular board meeting minutes for the meeting of September 18th.
Yes.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, additions, corrections? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Do we have any public comments on agenda items tonight? Thank you. Next is the consent agenda. At any time on the consent agenda, any board member may remove an item. Are there any items that the board would wish to remove? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as written.
I move to accept the consent agenda as submitted.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Brings us to gifts to building, which is another favorite thing for us. And Ms. Zolman, would you do the pleasure?
Yes, we have $5,883.16. These were the people that were on it: Charlestown High, Charlestown Middle, New Washington Elementary, New Washington Middle High, Parkview, and Wilson. And I make a motion to accept the gifts to buildings.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have that. Brings us to our action items. And our first action item is a resolution establishing the 2019 schedule for our board meetings.
Yes, Board. Time flies when you're having fun, so we're here to approve the 2019 school board meetings. Indiana Code requires that the school boards approve annually a resolution setting the dates and times for the regular school board meetings. And we're recommending that the board approve the attached 2019 schedule for those meetings.
Do you have a motion?
I move to approve the resolution establishing the 2019 schedule for regular board meetings.
And I'll need a second for that.
Second.
Thank you. Any comments about those meeting dates, board? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next thing, believe it or not, is the graduation dates. I believe Ms. Pfeiffer's going to take us through that. Graduation dates.
Yes, I would like to propose the following dates and times for the 2019 graduations of our high schools. June 7th of 2019 for New Washington High School at 7 p.m., Saturday, June 8th, Jeffersonville High School at 10 a.m., and Saturday, June 8th, 2019 at Charlestown High School at 1 p.m. And again, those are dates and times recommended for your approval.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Move to accept the dates for graduation for 2019.
And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Ullman. Questions? Concerns?
I hope this year I can be at the graduation. I got a grandson at Penn High School graduating this year, so seems like it's always something taking you away.
Now, that's several days after the last day of school, right? You build that in for snow and, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully we won't have any though.
I think we're going to have some snow this year. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Juvenile Detention Center Agreement. Ms. Hartledge? I skipped, I'm sorry. I skipped two things. Book rental fee, 2018-19 book rental fees, additions and adjustments. I'm sorry, Ms. Pfeiffer.
Yes, board, since you last approved the 18-19 book rental and fees in June, we've identified the need to make several changes, which are reflected in your attached document. So at this time, we ask that you approve the secondary book rental and fee additions and adjustments for the 18-19 school year.
Do you have a motion?
Move to approve the secondary book rental fees, additions, and adjustments for the 2018-19 school year.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Now the common school loan application.
This is an ongoing request that we have of you. The Common School Fund is available to assist school corporations in financing their school building construction and educational technology programs. We intend to use this loan for the following educational technology programs. That's to update and replace classroom interactive whiteboards and active panels, purchase of desktop computers for Project Lead the Way engineering labs, purchase of a new firewall system, purchase of instructional support computers, and you also have that attached in your board docs. So at this time, we ask that you approve the application for our Common School Fund loan from the Indiana Department of Education in the amount of $1,010,200 to be used for educational technology.
Do I have a motion, please?
Move to approve the common school loan application.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Title I funding agreements.
Well, I have the juvenile detention
Juvenile, number
center.
5.
How am I doing that? What am I doing? I know.
This is the 2018 through 21 Juvenile Detention Center Agreement, and this is a continuation of a project that we've had for many years. The agreement is a joint services agreement servicing West Clark, Clarksville, New Albany, Floyd, North Harrison, South Harrison, Lanesville, Scott County District 1, Scott County District 2, and Crawford County Community Schools to provide educational services at the detention center. This project funds the teacher's salary, and the cost is paid for out of the general fund, and it is divided up among all of the different school districts.
Do I have a motion on the Juvenile Detention Center agreement?
Move to approve the JDC agreement for 2018 through 2021.
And I need a second.
Second.
Thank you. Comments? Questions?
Just a quick comment. Some people may not understand the reason why all these different entities are involved is because our juvenile detention center just happens to host all the juveniles from all those entities.
That's right. We are the local education agency, so we coordinate all of this, and we keep track of the formulas, and we send out the invoices to the different districts based upon the number of students and number of days in which they are at the detention center.
Okay, any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Now we're going to do Title I funding.
Yes, as part of the Title I grant application every year, we have to offer an opportunity for our non-public schools to be a part of this funding, and this requires the annual renewal of an agreement, contracted services for Sacred Heart Child Place, Our Lady of Providence High School, and the Juvenile Detention Center. All contracts will be paid through Title I federal dollars.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the Title I funding agreements.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And I have one more.
Yeah, Southern Indiana Pre-Employment Transition Collaborative MOU.
Yes, the pre-EDS is a service provided by the Vocational Rehabilitation Services. It's a federally funded program. It is at no cost to us, and they are required to set aside a portion of their annual budget to provide these services at no cost. The only obligations of Greater Clark is to assist with such items such as scheduling. We provide them our Wi-Fi access and a place to operate on the days in which they are with Greater Clark. Greater Clark's representative will be able to devote 1 day a week to each high school building to meet the students who are served. And any student with an IEP or 504 may qualify. The following are the areas that they work with students: job exploration counseling, work-based learning experiences, counseling and post-secondary opportunities, workplace readiness training, and instruction in self-advocacy.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the Southern Indiana Pre-Employment Transition Collaborative MOU.
And a second, please. Thank you, Ms. Ullman. Discussion? Questions? Yes,
I have a
ma'am.
question. Some years back, I worked with the vocational rehab in Gary, Indiana. Now, are they still providing for some college tuition if they qualify?
I am not aware of that. I'll have to look into that and find out.
Could you check into that?
That is
Because I know that we used to send, like I say, many years ago, they sent, I used to send dollars to Purdue and Indiana for students with special needs. And if we have that opportunity, just check into it. I know things change.
I'll have to check with Mr. Quiz, but anything that I've read about it, it did not mention that particular piece, but I can certainly find out for you and let you know.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Well, zipping right through there because I tried to skip 4 or 5 items, but we get to reports and requests. Any reports or requests from the board? Okay.
I have a report.
Okay.
I would like to thank Dr. Mellon and his staff, in particular Dr. Dykle, Ms. Kimberly, and Dr. Kim, because last night they hosted kind of an advising session, if you will, or an education session for the school board candidates who've put themselves on the ballot. And Teresa and I attended as leadership, and I thought it was very informative, and the feedback I got from the proposed board members was that it was very informative. So I just wanted to say thank you for hosting that, and I think that's a great idea.
Thank you. Any other comments? No, that was a report, I'm sorry.
No report.
Do we have any public comments? No. Okay, and now board comments. None? Well,
Is our next one the 16th, October 16th? Okay, thank you.
yesterday I attended the design build team presentations of our folks that are interested in building our new downtown elementary. It was a long day, but it was very beneficial, and I just wanted folks to know that we are moving along and things look really good, and we've got a great group of people who are looking at all the different teams that are interested in building our new school. So, thank you. Yes, sir. Do you have any comments?
Just a couple. Last Friday, I want to thank our staffs at all 4 of our Charlestown schools. We hosted last Friday a Pride Visitation Day where representatives from 3 different school districts came down and wanted to learn more about our Pride program. So we started with at Charlestown High School, gave an overview of the program to the group, provided a breakfast, thanks to Aaron Mark, and a great lunch too, by the way. And then we divided the members, and we took them to Pleasant Ridge. Some went to JJ, others went to Charlestown Middle School, and then to, of course, Charlestown High School. So each school hosted a group of people, spent time explaining how it operates within the school, gave them a tour of the building, had what we call roll-alikes, where teachers can talk to teachers and so on. And we also did a great job at the end. Ms. Pfeiffer facilitated a debrief session, and so we were able to learn from those in attendance, things that they are going to take back to their communities, things that we could be doing, things that we should be thinking about for the future, suggestions for future visits. So it was very helpful, but overall the feedback that we received was very positive, and it's just 2 things. It's nice to know that people are interested in coming down and learning about things that we have committed to, like our Pride program, but even more importantly, to go to the different buildings and to hear your own staff members talking about the program and its positive impact. It was a great honor to see that. So just wanted to let you know, board, about that. That was very positive, and we'll host another event like that in the spring because school systems, we've learned our lesson to try to get them to come down on a given day instead of hosting over multiple days. Also, want to remind the board is next week is fall break, which is very hard to even fathom. It was like we just started the school year, and now we're at the end of the first 9 weeks. So that's, hope everyone's obviously stays very safe and has an enjoyable fall break that will be coming up. And I oftentimes don't get the opportunity to thank our Jeffersonville Police Department. Officer Jackson is here tonight representing the department, and we value you and the rest of your colleagues. Thank you for everything that you do for this school corporation, for this community. And Jorge, thank you for the work you do back there. And as usual, Renee, thanks for everything you do as well. So, thank you.
And thank you to Airmark for our wonderful dinner tonight. We certainly appreciate it. And that might be part of the problem, that I couldn't keep my eyes open. I apologize. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.